back to Planet Tyro. I'm your host, Donwun, joined by my good old buddy,
The cat face killer.
the cat face killer. My favorite buddy to speak about, especially manga with. Not so much anime. I know you guys love the anime stuff we do. And we're going to talk about anime soon too, by the way, the most popular anime. But we're going to talk about a manga title that my buddy Catface has recommended to me for a long time. And actually, this is our second take on the recording because we had to kind of talk about it to kind of both, so we're both up to speed on it so we can have a good discussion. But I just want to say, guys, this manga, somewhat controversial, very applicable in today's society with technology, and I'm really amazed that the mangaka was way ahead of his time because this was made back in 2004, and a lot of anime today are hitting on the things that this manga's talking about now.
Yeah, he's definitely ahead of his time. I mean, when this came out back in 2004, that's back when massive multiplayer online RPGs were just first starting to come out, like Final Fantasy 11, and I think World of Warcraft came out around the time, maybe a little later. So he saw that and he said, I think this is the direction that shit's going. Yeah. With like VR stuff, so suits and stuff, like kind of Ready Player One, and he went for it. Like he was definitely ahead of his time.
If you guys have watched anime like Sword Art Online or Hack Sign, this uses a lot of I would say because this was made way before those animes, you get a similar experience with this manga, but this manga is very intense, very sexual, very dark look at a certain topic, which I think is very appropriate. And without further ado, guys, the manga is called, is it Ressentiment or Resentment? How do you say it?
Ressentiment is how I think you pronounce it.
As we said, 2004 manga. The mangaka's name is it Kengo Hanazawa?
I think you said it right. Kengo Hanazawa.
Yeah, and the story, let me give you the quick plot, guys. The quick plot, without going into too many spoilers, it's about this 30 middle-aged man who works in a dead-end job, who is lonely, looking for a girlfriend. He's ugly, he's fat, he's repulsive, and he's just bored of his life. So many times in the beginning of the manga, he's like, what have I done with my life? I left high school, I got this job, and I've just been stuck here. And, you know, he uses his money on the side every once in a while to have prostitutes have sex, and he's just depressed. One day, one of his workmates are like, I got a girlfriend, the best girlfriend in the world. And he's like, oh yeah, fuck you, you ain't got a girlfriend because you're just like, you're a low-down bum like me. And what he finds out, his friend has actually got a virtual girlfriend. He's playing an online game, he's got an online waifu, but it's a virtual reality experience that is so immersive, like VR, like Sword Art Online, that when the main character sees how realistic this is, this manga is about a man who gets sucked into a virtual game reality. We'll get into more details, but it's basically the one man's journey of having a virtual girlfriend and the darkness, the depression, and the darker side to it, because I think this situation is our future. I really do, and I'm obviously not the future for most people. I think it's going to happen because technology is ending that way. We have a lot of things with sex dolls, with internet addiction, with porn addiction. This is the next level, and as we get closer, 10 years ago when this manga came out, you might think this is never going to happen. But as we live today,
oh no, it's already happening. You showed me that video where the guy had his shit set up to basically jack him off while he was fucking some hentai chick in VR.
Yeah.
And then over in Utah, they already have a facility where they're prototyping a walk-in virtual reality system.
Yeah. One of the things me and Old Boy have been doing in our recent reviews is been giving the ratings first, so you guys know where we stand. But to be honest with you, I want to give my rating last because I want to give you guys, I want to tell you guys, I really enjoy this manga for its subtext and for the commentary, guys. On face value, let me make this very clear. This manga looks like a perverted piece of hentai, but it's much deeper than that. And I'm the same age as the main character, so even a lot of the things he was going through with depression, with loneliness, I could relate to. But the path he goes down through is the dark side, the very, very, very dark side. And when we spoke about like a manga like Masturbation Master Kozawa, we've got another character that is socially awkward or has these fantasies and stuff, but I felt like that character went on a journey of redemption. This story isn't necessarily about redemption. This is about seeing a guy at his lowest, at its absolute lowest. And although I enjoy this, oh boy, this manga, which I really commend for being very unrestricted and raw and honest, made me uncomfortable more than once.
Well, I think there's not enough of that going on out there. You know, a good story should make you think. A good story should take you out of your comfort zone. I mean, that's how you expand your mind.
Yeah.
That's how you broaden your mind, is by stepping out of your comfort zone. One of the biggest reasons why I ever suggested this to you, like 5 years ago, was because a lot of manga and anime is schlock. I mean, you know, like anything, and 90% of it is garbage.
Yeah.
It's just brainless entertainment. And then there's titles that stand out because they're commentary. And anime and manga kind of stands out from American and westernized comics and cartoons. Well, maybe not comics, but like cartoons and stuff, because they will use that medium to discuss a topic or to share their viewpoints or make commentary on social issues or world issues or anything like that, you know, on a higher level.
Yeah.
And this is one of those titles. You're talking about how it's like raw and everything. The way I would put it is, even with shows like The Walking Dead, for example, there's always this line that they won't cross. They will set up boundaries and they're like, we won't go that far. We'll get like really close or whatever, but Ressentiment, there's that line that everybody else isn't crossing. They said, fuck that shit. And they went past it. They went way left field. They said, this is how we think, or the author, sorry, said, this is how I think things are going to pan out.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not going to be very pretty, so, but it's what I think. And he went there.
He did, and honestly, I remember when I did that podcast with Gax a few weeks ago. He said to me, one thing he loves about the Japanese animation industry, culture, manga, and all that is that they don't, like you just said, adhere to the restrictions that the Western society alludes to. You do not get that in anime and manga. They don't give a fuck. And let me tell you something. I've watched hentai before and all that. Still, some of the panels, some of the things the main character was saying, the way he was treating,
like the first time he has sex.
yeah, it was so uncomfortable. He was such a fucking pervert. I thought to myself, look, man, as a guy, I've said these things, but it's, you know, it's like being a fly on a wall and watching someone do their most kinkiest shit.
Watching your worst moments.
It is. And the funny thing is, and another point, there's more to this manga than this, by the way. I'll get to that. But what I need to jump on is the art and the illustration. I want to make a specific point about this. One of the things that make this manga super poignant, and I'm going to have to put, I took pictures when I was reading the manga so I can put in the videos, you guys can see. This guy, without getting too many spoilers, he would be in this reality game trying to have sex with this female character. This piece of software he purchased, he's trying to have sex with it. And the avatar he created for himself was a young high school teenager. But in real life, he is the biggest oaf, greasy looking.
He's frankly pretty disgusting and grody.
And the mangaka, the way he draws his character is like it emphasizes how hideous and repulsive this guy is. There'll be one time where he's with the girl and he's like, hey, you know, can I see your ass? And then you'll see him in reality wearing his VR suit looking like a pig.
Look like a fucking goblin or something.
Yeah, dribbling, snot coming out of his nose. I can't wait to fuck this girl. And I was like, man! Let me tell you something. On the whole, the art is okay. But what this guy does, he focuses. Whenever he's doing a character shot on the character, it looks, even to this day, is really, really good. I want to praise the illustration on that part. And like I said, I'm going to put pictures on screen to see that. It kind of reminds me of Ren and Stimpy, where you have those moments in Ren and Stimpy where it would zoom in on like the human, a part of the anatomy, like Ren or Stimpy's hairline or their teeth, and it just makes
it just show like the unfiltered, unadulterated. This is how ugly they really are.
Yeah. And this manga, this is just raw. And I loved it, but
actually, I want to comment on that. This author is one of my favorite authors, like how Ito Junji is one of my favorite mangakas.
Okay.
Yeah, he did I'm a Hero, my favorite zombie story aside We're Alive, because it's kind of a different take on zombies like We're Alive is, but you would just have to check it out. I mean, I know it's not your thing, but if you were to ever check out any anime, manga, movie, or whatever that's a zombie-centric sort of thing, I Am a Hero.
Well, I'm sure you might speak about that on your own in the upcoming recording. So yeah,
it's on my to-do list. I also read one of his other titles, Boys on the Run. So again, the protagonist is a little different because he's a middle-aged guy, but he gets into boxing, and obviously we already know how I felt about Ipo, so it's different than that. I
Yeah,
mean, it's his stuff looks really good, and it's just the art style alone. It looks more realistic than sometimes it looks cartoony, but his stuff looks more realistic than your average like carbon copy sort of shit.
sure. Well, getting back to the story, guys, if this was just a story about a man trying to have sex with a virtual character, it would be very one note.
No, we wouldn't even be talking about it.
Yeah, actually, there's a this story is better than that because, not getting into spoilers, the character he's trying to have sex with is a computer generated AI character, but you find out that character has a backstory. The world that is set in with the technology has an underlying backstory, which is kind of sci-fi, which leads into a very good finale. But when it comes down to it, it is mostly about this one guy, his relationship, his total self. What's the word for when you just living in something? You just what's the word I'm looking for? You just giving.
Indulgent?
Yeah, not self-indulgent, but you're living through a complete fantasy.
Oh, denial.
Escapism.
Oh yeah, there we go. We even said that fucking when we were talking about before we started recording.
Yeah, this manga is the definition of escapism gone wrong. I'm saying all this from an intellectual perspective, but this manga is fucking hilarious.
It makes a hardened seasoned OG anime and manga guy like Donwun uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
It'll
And
make
fun
you
and
uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, it'll make you uncomfortable, but it'll make you laugh. It'll make you think. I mean, it's a swirl of layers, and it's more than just some guy trying to fuck a program. There's a
Yeah.
whole lot of shit going on.
Oh, guys, this is more than just a guy trying to get laid on a computer program. The manga is very clever. By the end of the manga, I was very impressed. And actually, at the end, it turned more into a sci-fi manga with technology and more characters got brought in. The other characters, except for the guy who created the game, the AI, and the main character, these are the three that kind of get your interest. Some of the side characters do their part well, and there's another female character that is introduced later. But guys, for the record, I think this manga deals with the subject matter of the disconnect that man will feel with coming technology that they already feel. But in this manga, we get to see one man's unrestricted sexual desires and loneliness and self-pity, and it's sad, it's funny, it's comical, it's perverted, but you know what, it's fucking honest. It is 100, and you know what, ringing through everything else, and you know, I've read some of the manga reviews on my anime list and what the common consensus, what the people feel. People rate this manga highly, but everyone says note of caution, it's not for everybody. If you can't see through the subtext of this guy being a very perverted person, you just blow it off. But one of the other things that bothered me about the manga, well, actually two of the main problems I have the problem is number one, which is a choice thing. The character, the main character, the girl the artificial girl he's trying to have sex with or trying to pursue a romance or whatever, she looks like she's 14 or 13.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the fantasy element, the escapism,
It is.
reliving your high school days.
It is, and I understand that, but it really bothered me. But it was a physical choice. But every time I saw, you know, with anime, they lead more on the 16, 17, and the reason why this is a sticking point for me, because sometimes it feels like this guy's a fucking pedophile, you know. But the guy says himself, I just prefer younger girls. So again, I appreciate the honesty, but that made me uncomfortable. The second thing that made me disappointed, and this was a big opportunity, the female, even though the main character is a male, I feel like they missed the opportunity with the female character, which is the AI, because she isn't just a simple computer program. As the story progresses, you actually find out there's a much more interesting backstory. They don't take it in a direction that would have brought this manga on a higher level, which would have been if the female character was less naive. Even when there's big reveals to her upbringing, her creation, it's like, wow, this should be more about her being a sentient character. But she stays at a level of naivete. I was like, the manga missed the opportunity, because you could have had this character, the main character, with his pursuit of loneliness and love and this, and then this character defining herself as a living being but I don't want to make it sound too ambitious, but it could. I think it was so easy for them to could have done that. And as we get to the end of the manga and we get to the climax, there's a massive reveal for the character, especially the computer character finding out about themselves. I was like, this is the point where you should elevate this character to this level. It just seems more natural, but the mangaka doesn't. And I understand why he didn't, because he wanted to keep the focus on the main character, on the guy. But
Actually, I think it's more than that.
okay, why do you think that?
I think the AI character was really more of just a tool to show his total downward spiral into his worst characteristics, which he thinks most people are going to experience themselves.
Yeah.
And later on, the rival to her, the real woman versus the AI woman,
Yeah.
they bounce back and forth. He's kind of pulled between them, and in the end, he has to choose: do you want to pursue a real woman with a life full of complexities, or do I want to escape to
Yeah.
my simplistic fantasy? I think she doesn't evolve because, in the end, she's only supposed to be a way for him to escape his real life. She's supposed to be a simple, understandable sort of, this is what I want. I don't want all that other bullshit baggage that comes with real life. I want this simple, she's made to be pleasing, blah, 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 sort of AI character. I think that's why she didn't evolve. I mean, she could have, and it might have changed the story quite a bit, but I think the purpose of the character served as, it was meant to not evolve. That was the whole point of her. She was supposed to be a fantasy.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but it's just that as I was reading it, I just kept on thinking that it was a missed opportunity, where it might have been a different manga if they did make that character more evolved, and it might have thrown off the balance of the other two female characters. But I would get into spoilers to argue about this more and more. But honestly, I think you have the better point, and I think the point the manga was trying to make was very poignant, and it made it. So adding what I would have wanted wouldn't have made it that much better, but I'm just holding it a slight against it. Actually, it just annoyed me how naive that character was. Even though she had a set, I guess you could say she was built to be that way as a computer program, but as you mentioned, and without a spoiler, you kind of related it to Neo in the Matrix in a way, which is correct. So I kind of want to give her more than just being one note. But anyway, I'm kind of quibbling on something that doesn't matter that much. It's just my thoughts, people. But anyway, cutting all that aside, this is really a great manga. And one of the things I said to you, old boy, is it reminded me of a movie called Lolita. And I think you might have been wondering why I mentioned that, because Lolita is it's actually a very popular story, very well-loved story, very controversial story about a man who has a relationship with an underage girl.
Right, yeah, actually I watched that last night in preparations for this video, recording.
Right, without going off the cliff, what do you think? Or do you see any...
In terms of relating it to Ressentiment, I actually have to say the main girl, Lolita, in the movie is actually a lot like the AI character in Ressentiment.
Yeah.
Kind of immature, but on the toehold of going into adulthood for a woman.
Yeah.
And then you have this super insecure middle-aged figure that, he starts out he just wants to fuck her, but then he desperately wants something for her, and because she's so immature, it like turns her off. It's like that push and pull of somebody that's more mature and wants a deeper thing versus somebody who's immature and just flighty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and one of the main reasons people love Lolita is the main character. There's a point where he says one of the reasons he fell for this girl is he wanted to relive his past. He sees something in her that he wants for himself, and I saw that in Ressentiment. This guy's yearning for something in this person that isn't healthy. Ultimately, it will give him what he wants on the sexual level, but in reality, it's not healthy. And I always look for subtext and stuff like that, and there's some reason I love Lolita, but I saw that, and again, in anime and manga, they've touched on this in Chobits, Welcome to the NHK. They've spoken about relationships with artificial characters. Fucking hell, even Star Trek with the holodeck, or with Data, or with or with that movie Her. We've seen this in pop culture a lot. We're seeing relationships with things that are not humans, which are beings, which are aliens, which are machines. So this is apt in that regard. This is before its time. And I've said all I'm going to say about the manga, except for I give it a cautionary warning. It might look over perverted, but my rating for the manga, I'm going to give it a high solid B. A high solid B.
I'm gonna go with a low first class.
I was leaning towards that, man, but some of the elements just bothered me here and there, and the very end, the way the manga ended was very strong. It actually ended like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, the whole final, the closing story arc, the final chapter,
Yeah.
Or the final act, as you would say, very strong. I mean, the first act is probably the weakest. It's kind of an introductory. You don't know anything about the world. It's slowly revealing more and more to you about the characters and the world itself with the VR sort of push.
Yeah.
And then the end just shows this is how bad things can get.
Yeah, and this is a cautionary tale, guys. You need some people. We don't want to go. We don't want to be this guy. You don't. There's a forward that the manga puts at the end, where I wrote this manga for losers like me, people who felt like me, and people who need to. It's a cautionary tale, and this manga serves that purpose exceptionally well. So I am really bordering on a high solid B, low first class. I'm still on the low solid B, high solid B. And just like we said with Gantz, would I love a anime adaptation of this for real? Yes, but just like Gantz, it's too extreme for today's anime. I don't think they could do this in anime right now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, they would have to really tone down a lot of the sexual stuff, which is honestly part of what makes it. What makes it a great story to me, because that's what's really gonna take you out of your comfort zone. None of that other shit, none of the sci-fi stuff. None of the how much the VR is interconnected with the real world and all that stuff. None of that is super take you out of your comfort zone. It's the sexual fantasy escapism aspect of the story.
Yeah, 100% agree. It's and I think it lines up perfectly with the last couple of mangas we spoke about, Masturbation Massacre Resolve and Molester Man, where those two are kind of redemption. This is not necessarily redemption. This is a guy who's gone all the way down. Total
spiral to his lowest point, all of his worst, darkest fantasies and characteristics and desires versus, trying to just not be that guy. And not even be a good guy, just not be that guy.
Yeah, guys, I love manga. I really do, man, because I just love manga. This was some crazy ass shit, Catface Killer. You nearly killed me with this title, boy, but I really do appreciate it. It's very worthwhile, guys. And guys, if you read the manga, if you know about it, or if you're thinking about it, let us know in the comments down below. I could not give a stronger caution. Upon first glance, it will seem like an overly perverted sexual tale of deviance of this guy just living out sexual fantasies. It's more than that. I don't know how much more I can say it, guys, but I was so uncomfortable sometimes. I just said to myself, when I record this video, let the people know it's out there.
It's definitely not something that, for me to suggest that to you, I had to feel like this guy is really into anime and manga. He gets that it's used as a medium to discuss and make commentary on things that you're just not going to get in Western society with cartoons and stuff.
And I appreciate that. On the intellectual level, I appreciate that. People.
This is not something you give to somebody that's a casual anime or manga person, or that isn't an intellectual. Yeah. This is something like somebody's like, oh, anime, manga, this is dumb, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like, this is something you give them, like, look, it's going to be kind of hard to get through because there's a lot of sexual stuff, but this is what anime manga can be. This is like the higher level of it on an intellectual level. Check it out. That's who I would give it to.
100% agree, and that's exactly how I felt about that movie Lolita. So, but anyway, guys, let's see you at that. Again, leave your comments down below. Thank you for watching. We've got another video, anime video coming soon, right after this video maybe, but you guys don't know it will come back. If you're subscribed to the channel, guess what? you'll get the notifications straight to your YouTube feed. And if you don't like this video, why don't you click on the other ones? Because you can see the annotation on the right. Animation, movie, TV shows, books, what have you. I want to say thank you to my boy Catface Killer for recommending it to me, for joining me on the podcast to discuss it. Always have the conversation. And you know, until the next one, guys, I want to say thanks for watching.
Be sure to check me out on Twitter, _oldboy.
Definitely. And Planet Tyro at Planet Tyro, guys. See you on the next one. Take care. Peace.
Bye bye.
Out.